Okay, so is the all-new Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra just way too big? Is it getting in the way of things? Let's go ahead and talk about it. All right, now here's my humble take on this, right? So here's my answer to the question, is the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra just way too big? My answer is nope, no. It's not. In fact, I don't even think it's large enough because look at me, I'm able to handle it one-handed. Granted, a lot of people are not able to, do the same as I am here with my large hands, but I don't think this tablet is that large. I mean, you can see me palm it and manhandle it with no effort whatsoever. Now, let's cover a few things in this video in an effort to, give a genuine answer to the question, is it too large? And for that, we are going to cover a few things, right? Mainly the design, and we will also talk about the groups that Samsung is targeting with this tablet. I mean, if they built something this large, it must have been for a reason. So this tablet, the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, is boasting a massive 14.6 inches for the display, which evidently shows that it is indeed a large tablet. But because of the way this baby was designed, it is actually not as cumbersome as you would imagine, right? As it is on paper. Now, if we're talking just dimensions, you're looking at what, 12 to 13 inches by 8 inches, and then looking at a thickness of 5.5 millimeters, that is fairly thin, right? It is extremely thin for a tablet. In fact, I believe this is the thinnest tablet available, at least in terms of screen real estate, right? So it is, despite being the largest tablet available right now, it's also the thinnest tablet available. And given the money that you're paying for it, it is of course a premium tablet. It feels very dense and it also feels very portable, which is of course the reason you see me handle it the way I handle it, right? 1.6 pounds, so it is fairly light, right? So as I mentioned, fairly dense, but also pretty light at the same time. Now, if we're comparing this to the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus, in terms of just weight, 1.6 pounds as opposed to 1.25 for the Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. So we're looking at roughly 20% increase in terms of the weight, and that is not much. And the last thing that I want to bring up here, of course, is the aspect ratio of this display here, which is 16 by 10. So all of these things, believe it or not, actually make this tablet way more manageable than we anticipated, right? So, I mean, don't get me wrong, handling a Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra is not like handling a regular Samsung Galaxy Tab S8 or even the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that it is way more manageable than you would actually think, especially when you hear that it is a 14.6 inches display. By the way, here's a fact for you. Not everyone has, hands as large as mine to be able to palm this monster the way I do. But you have to keep in mind that this wasn't even built to be handled the way I'm handling it. It was built to be a tablet that just sits, right? Most people, when carrying this tablet, will likely do so using two hands, using both hands, right? But in general, they would tend to just have this sit on a flat surface, on a desk, on a table, whatever the case may be, on the floor while watching movies. So people who are out there looking for this tablet are actually not complaining about the size of this tablet here. I just happen to be one of those people who are able to handle this guy here with one hand like I do. Now, if you are impressed by the fact that I'm able to handle this guy here with one hand, make sure to hit both the like, the subscribe button, because I have a ton more content that I'll be dropping on this guy. But anyway, so this tablet obviously comes to us, or I should just say to many of us, with a design that is already pretty familiar, right? We already knew what this guy here looked like because we had seen it before. It's simply that it is stretched out a little bit. And I'm talking, of course, about the back, right? This is a very familiar look. We saw this on the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 and the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, so we already knew what this guy looked like. But with that being said, this guy still feels so foreign. It just feels so new. Sure, we have, the same quad speaker setup on both sides here, and of course, tuned by AKG, just like it has been the case with the past, with the previous flagship tablets by Samsung, tuned by AKG, and the sound quality here is top notch, super crisp, very loud, and very full. Again, I need to emphasize that it's very, very loud. It's a large tablet, so you could kind of expect that. So if you are looking for something that is loud, that you can enjoy entertainment because it gets you immersed in whatever you're watching, whatever you're doing, playing video games or just watching a movie, this is the tablet for you. On the front, of course, you will notice the difference when compared to what I said was already familiar, Tab S7 and Tab S7 Plus. You have a very thin bezel all around the tablet, which gives off a premium feel to the tablet, or just a premium look to the tablet. And then of course we have that very tiny, and I need to specify that it's a very tiny notch, which houses of course the dual camera setup that we have here for selfie camera. Yes, it has a dual camera setup here. Now I need to, I guess, stay a little bit on the notch here and talk about it, because I know it's making a lot of noise out there. This notch is really small, and I need to put that in perspective, right? So if we were to compare to what I have here on my Apple iPhone 13 Pro Max here, on the iPhone you will see that the notch is taking about 1/3 of that row, right? The row where the notch is, it's taking about 1/3 of that. If you look at what we have on the Tab S8 Ultra here, this is not even taking 1/12. It is super tiny, and because of that, you know, this, I would say pretty close to 1/15 of that tiny row. Not only that, it doesn't even really poke out that much, right? It's very, very subtle, just enough to house those two cameras. The other thing here that I need to specify is that 1 to 2 seconds into using the tablet, you completely forget that it exists. In fact, when you use the iPhone, a few seconds into using, you just get used to it. You forget that it's there. Here, it's even more so. 1 to 2, it took me about a second or two to forget that the notch was there. So it just really shocks me that, you know, so many people are talking so much smack about such a tiny, pretty much invisible thing, right? And it's there, it has a purpose. It's not just there for decoration. It has a purpose, and like I said, it turns invisible about a second or two after you start using the tablet. In fact, I'm starting to think that maybe people who are complaining about this notch are not even people who are planning on buying the tablet in the first place, right? So I don't even know why they complain. But anyway, I digress here. Now, enough about the design. Let's go ahead and talk about the group of people who may be the targets of this tablet here. And the very first thing before we even talk about those groups is, I personally think that if you like this tablet and you can afford it, go for it. I mean, it's exciting. If you want to be on the cutting edge of technology, this is when it comes down to tablet, of course, and you can afford it. I need to specify that, because remember, of course, the channel leans, I always say it, the channel leans towards value, right? So if you can afford it, go for it. I don't believe in wasting money, but if you have the money to go buy one, just go ahead and buy one. This is as exciting as tablets will get for a little while. And I did say that in my previous video, right? I say that I love it when, you know, manufacturers go out there and take risk, and, you know, they stay creative, innovative, and Samsung tends to do that, and I absolutely love it. Now, the next group of people that I will highlight here is going to be very obvious, right? And that would be artists, people who want a top-level tablet that they can use for drawing, a tablet that comes maybe accompanied with a top-level, super low latency stylus, something that offers a massive canvas for, you know, for their drawing needs and all of that good stuff. At a top level display. This is a super AMOLED display. We didn't go into the details because this is not a review video, but super AMOLED display. They want top level display. This is the one. Now, the next group here is just for people who are looking for a laptop replacement, right? Something that would still be light enough to carry around and, you know, versatile enough to be used as a laptop. And the chipset, of course, found in here is the newest by Qualcomm. Of course, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which is, of course, just a beast. It is a monster, which is going to spill into the next group of people. Maybe you're just looking for a very large tablet that can enhance your productivity level. So using DeX, because of course this does support DeX. Using DeX, you can push your productivity to the next level. So you imagine top level chipset, top level productivity software in Samsung DeX, top level display, so you can carry this thing around for entertainment to the fullest, and of course quickly turn around and use the same device to a super serious level of work and be highly productive using something, like I said, Samsung DeX. Now, the next group of people I'm going to suggest here be just for people who are looking for something that is as large as the iPad Pro Mini LED, right? Something that is as large and that is, you know, super powerful, but without all of the Apple's restrictions, and that can bring you some, you know, flexible level of accessibility when it comes down to just what you can do with the hardware itself. And of course, we can name additional groups here, but I'm sure that by this time here, you do get the point. Bottom line is that if you can afford this guy here, go for it if you can. It does have everything that people need. It is exactly everything that people want. So again, if you were hesitating, but you can afford it, and I have to keep saying that if you can afford this guy, go for it. Anyway, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Make sure, of course, to like, comment, subscribe, as I mentioned. Share this video if you know anyone who will be interested. I would love to catch you in the comment section like I always do, so we could get a little back and forth going. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. I have a lot more content to drop on these mini tablets. Hoping to be able to catch you in those next video. And up until the next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.